Hello, everybody. Welcome again to our show. This is Ralph Emery and
Ray Stevens. How are you, Ralph?
Hi.
Good to see you.
You all right?
Oh, fantastic.
Hey, nice to see
an
you.
operation is already scheduled.
What?
What?
You have an operation scheduled?
No, I'm fantastic.
If you checked,
not lately.
we are happy to have you back on the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
And our show is presented by Beech Nut Chewing Tobacco.
Pooey!
What?
Pooey! That's a little beech nut chewing tobacco sound.
Oh,
background.
okay.
Background sound.
Camphophonique.
Rubbing it on, folks.
And the Music City News. You're
reading the music
okay.
to myself.
And who's going to open the show?
Elvis.
Who?
Elvis Presley.
My guest.
Pooey!
What?
That's a little background.
My guest is Ray Stevens. You enjoy being a nut.
Who's a nut? Who you calling a nut?
I'm calling you a nut.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How about pistols at dawn?
To interview you is a real experience. It's like interviewing nobody else I've ever interviewed.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to,
What? No, you shouldn't apologize.
I won't.
No, okay.
Okay. Sorry, I said I'm sorry.
I want you to do the Roger Miller bit.
What is that?
With the telephone.
Oh, I can't do it as good as Roger.
I know, but do it anyway.
Well, thanks a lot. I'm not even going to do it.
Nah, you do it fine.
No, I don't do it too good.
Huh?
Here it is. Hello.
Roger used to do that all the time.
He used to carry it on and
Gotta get the dial tone.
Yeah, that wasn't a very good dial tone. Hit me a B flat over there.
Can you?
Did you know the dial tone was B flat?
Well, yeah, John Loudermilk told me one time he could tune his guitar by listening to the dial tone on a telephone.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Of course, it was in the wrong key, but nonetheless, you can do that.
Do you have perfect pitch?
No.
Can you?
I have relative pitch.
What is relative pitch now?
Relative pitch is an uncle once removed that throws horseshoes.
What is perfect pitch?
Perfect pitch is when you can hear any tone, no matter what, any noise, and tell anybody what note that is. Relative pitch is when you can tell anybody what note you hear if you know some other note, no matter what other note in the spectrum of sound.
Okay.
Out there.
Out there. You want to sing a little bit?
Sure.
Where'd this character come from?
You want to call this singing? I'll go along
Did
with
you
it.
go to the movies and see a Tarzan movie and?
No, this was an obvious attempt at a follow-up. This song, Harry the Hairy Ape. This was the follow-up record to Ahab the Arab, and I got to admit, I was getting a little commercial there, and I was just groping around and got lucky with one.
Does it bother you that it was contrived?
Doesn't bother me at all.
Well, you seem like you're apologizing.
I'm not apologizing. I'm just being honest.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I said I was sorry.
You didn't say you were sorry.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
That's our guest star of the week.
Playing the drum.
Does that get you? Be called a star? You know, there were years when you weren't a star.
Well, I don't know. I don't think about that
Then
much.
the hits came along?
Well, there are different opinions as to who and who isn't a star, and I'm sure that there are some folks out there who might not agree with you, Ralph, but what the heck?
Well, I think most people associate stars with hit records, for one thing.
Yeah.
Hit movies.
Yeah.
Or if you appear in enough bad movies, you're still a star. As long as you have public attention, I suppose.
Yeah, well, I guess so. That would be hard to define, after all. I mean, if you think about it, what is really a star?
Now we have a new term, superstar. See, we've graduated.
Yeah.
And that is all.
And you just call me a star. Thanks a lot, Ralph. If I can't be a superstar, just forget the whole thing.
I think that possibly you might qualify as a superstar.
Oh, golly.
See, I really want him to stay here and do the rest of the show. You've heard Ray Stevens on the show with Harry, the Hairy Ape.
Superstar.
Ray, I'm going to play a record by Don Williams, but so we won't confuse people. In your life, there's a Don Williams, too.
Yeah, he's my manager, Don Williams.
And he's related to Andy Williams, isn't he?
Yeah, he's his brother.
Didn't they used to have a singing act together?
Yeah, the Williams brothers. They used to make cough drops, too, but they got out of that and went into the singing business. They have two other brothers, Bob Williams and Dick Williams. And Bob, Dick, Don, and Andy used to have a little group, a quartet, and they would sing.
They're from Iowa?
They're from Wall Lake, Iowa.
But now Don Williams of that family has become a talent manager then.
Right, and he manages me. And
does he have a stable of stars or just you?
oh, he has some other people.
Notably?
I don't know.
Okay. Now we have another Don Williams here in Nashville who makes hit records. And he's pretty hot right now.
Yeah, he is.
And a good writer, too. This is Don singing You're My Best Friend. Ray, about 1944, there was a movie, and I don't know the title of it, but it starred Jack Oakey and Alice Faye and John Payne. And this tune we're about to play was in that movie. What was the name of the movie?
You'll never know? I'll never know.
I'll never know either.
I'll never tell. I don't know.
But this is Jan Howard reviving a great old song from the year about 1940.
Because that song goes, you'll never know just how much.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
yeah. I don't know it.
Huh? Where were you in 1944?
I don't know. I was in Clarkdale, Georgia.
Still there?
Yeah.
That's Miss Jan Howard reviving her career with a beautiful recording of You'll Never Know. My guest is Ray Stevens, and I imagine, Ray, everywhere you go, if you're on an interview show, the subject of camels and Clyde and Ahab, all these subjects come up collectively.
Yeah, it's a sort of a collective subject there. People go around, who's Clyde? Who's A? Who? What?
Is this song so old that today's generation won't identify with it?
Well, how old is today's generation?
Well, you're not supposed to ask me the
Well,
question.
I don't know
All
what
right.
you're talking about. You got to define your...
All right. You think a kid 18 years old.
18 years old. No.
When was this song popular?
62. That was 13 years ago.
13 years ago.
So you see, he was 5. He may know it, though.
Okay.
Because 5, they start picking up on stuff, especially novelty songs like Ahab the Arab. Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. Of course, this would have been popular with children,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, sure.
And then you had another record with Clyde in it.
Yeah, I did a Christmas record called Santa Claus is Watching You.
Yeah.
He's everywhere. He's everywhere.
Do that like you used to do in that record.
Oh,
I'm not going to play a Christmas record here in June, but
Let's see. Santa Claus is watching you.
He's everywhere, just like Sonny James.
what is there a story behind Ahab the Arab? Why you suddenly
I don't know.
went
I
into
just
comedy?
well, out of desperation, because I couldn't get any attention. I couldn't get the disc jockeys to play my straight records, so I wrote these funny songs in hopes that I would get some attention, get played, and get started. And sure enough, it worked. I wrote this song the night before the session. I had some notes that I'd, been fooling around with on the song, and I put them all together, and I wrote it in about 45 minutes, and we recorded it the next morning at 10 o'clock over at the old Bradley Quonset hut. You remember that?
The original Bradley
Yeah.
studio.
And then that afternoon at 2 o'clock, Ahab the Arab went to number 1. That afternoon at 2 o'clock, we cut Walk On By with Leroy Van Dyke. It went to number 1. And at 6 o'clock that same day, we cut Joe Dowell singing Wooden Heart, which went to number 1. And that was, I'm saying we, I was working with Shelby Singleton and Jerry Kennedy.
What, as a producer?
Well, as an assistant, Mercury Records had the studio booked all day, and we cut 3 number 1 records in one day.
Do you recall what day that was?
No, but I'd sure like to find out. I'd book every studio in town that day.
All right, let's go back, 13 years?
Yeah.
This was really the springboard to popularity for Ray Stevens. Here's Ray with the story of Clyde the Camel. Do that camel sound again. Now, how do you know camels sound like that?
I didn't, but I got lucky. I did that sound, and I didn't know. I'd never seen a camel in my life, never heard one. And I was doing the Buddy Dean show in Baltimore, Maryland, and he had a live camel on the show because Ahab was a big hit, and he wanted to do a little production there. Camel came over to me and made that noise, and it was exactly like I'd made it. I almost fell over. It was fantastic. And then the camel bit me on the leg.
He did.
Mean boogers.
But he sounded like that.
He sounded like...
Did you do that to the camel?
No. God, I thought it might have been a mating cry or something.
All right, you've heard Ray Stevens and a Ray Stevens classic, Ahab the Arab. How about you like Johnny Paycheck records?
Yeah, I like him.
See, from time to time I've said, do you like this? Do you like that? Let me just nail it down. Who do you like? Who are some of your favorite singers?
Oh, wow. I don't know. I don't know. And then again, I'm really a fan of, I'm just knocked out over.
Gee, all those?
Yeah.
Golly.
No,
Well,
I really like a bunch of people. I really do. And I really like them.
you don't want to be pinned down on your
No,
choices.
because if I mention some and don't mention others,
Okay, all right.
I mention others and don't mention some.
Being very diplomatic
Being
here.
very diplomatic. I like them all.
Here's Johnny Paycheck. Ray, did you ever have any other jobs except musical jobs?
No, I don't think so. I used to mow the lawn for my dad. No, but I started out
When you and Penny got married, what were you doing?
nothing.
Huh?
Nothing.
How were you making a living?
Well,
at
I
that?
was playing gigs, and trying to write songs, and it didn't make too good a living, just to be honest with you.
just getting by
Yeah.
before it all happened.
We got married, and a few months later we moved to Nashville, and I went to work for Mercury.
Records.
Yeah. No, the thermometer company.
Ray, I want to thank you very much for coming on this program.
Thank you for having me.
When's
I
your
enjoyed
birthday?
it. January the 24th.
So you are
An Aquarius.
do you pursue astrology?
No,
You don't?
I don't know very much about it. It interests me, but I really haven't gotten into it,
I imagine many things interest you.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a very creative and productive mind.
Well-
what else do you follow?
Well, what do you mean, what else?
What for hobbies?
Oh. Hobbies.
Do you have any hobbies?
No, I don't think I do.
You're not a hobby man.
I don't know.
Well, all right. I'm going to pass on and move into the last record here then.
Well, I'm sorry about the hobbies. I'll go get me a model airplane. We'll build that baby.
Would you have one next time you come back?
Shoot, yeah, boy.
We're going to close the show with Ray's unique interpretation of an old song called Misty. And this has proved... Did it surprise you when the country stations played this?
No.
You thought they would?
I
From
thought
the outset.
I thought they'd like it. I mean, I don't know anything for dead sure, but I thought it was a good record for country radio.
I love the fiddles.
Oh.
1,000 violins. That's our guest star of the week, Ray Stevens. And
Superstar, Ralph.
I'm sorry. That's our guest superstar of the week, Ray Stevens and Misty. Ray, again, I thank you very much for being our guest superstar of the week.
Well, thank you, Ralph. I enjoyed condescending to be here.
You did what?
Nice of me to have came.
And my friends, the show is presented by Beechnut Chewing Tobacco, Camp Fofanique, and the Music City News.
And cancel that hot dog.
We'll see you folks next week. Thank you very much for listening.